I'm clicking through the Galactic merch right now. Ah, I see it. I see it.
Oh my gosh, Lyra's gonna cop. No way.
I
Let's go.
actually am. It's so cute. Oh, and they all come in the different colors too. Oh my god, this is so good. This is the greatest thing ever. All right, we are getting this match started up here. Jayden versus Bacchess. And yeah, this will be exciting. Bacchess spamming some hearts at us instead of putting down the pieces. Maybe you should do that.
Hey, I'm a fan of the heart emotes. Gotta love the heart spam. Jayden's actually gonna start with a PC. Very interesting decision here. Oh my gosh, they had another one, but they did receive damage, so Bacchess is gonna be safe for now. They are gonna choose to find a quarter. Maybe they decide to end it early. No, they are gonna just wait and keep both of their eyepieces in their disposal.
Yeah, and Bacchess making a very interesting decision here, choosing the custom Minos. Personally, I am not a fan, though I understand that some people are more comfortable with them.
I mean, if you're able to play with them, it does look pretty, so I understand. Definitely one of the more base choices, and Jayden is currently setting up some TSTs. Bacchess is going to have a very interesting zone here, because I don't think they were full on this one. Going to be canceling 32, but they see the end of it, have two eyepieces on their disposal, and it doesn't look like they're going to be forced to zone again, which is going to give them enough time to try and retaliate.
Yeah, those two eyepieces were very helpful there as they are able to continue this, definitely using the garbage to their advantage. A little bit of plonking action going on here, maybe, but then they canceled it. I understand that, though. Plonking is difficult. And we do see both players with this zone here. Yeah, Jayden just zoning from the bottom is such a confident move here.
And Bacchess is actually going for the overstack. Unfortunately, wrong columns for what they were attempting to do, but that is still 44 damage. Oh my gosh, I think they just received 15.
Yeah, that's a lot of phase 3 garbage to receive right there, and Bacchess is not in a great spot. Has the quarter zone to stay alive here, but this is not easy, especially as Jayden is trying to close that out, and that is our round 1.
And Bacchess playing really efficiently as well. Had the eyepiece spawn through IRS, but it's just not enough to counteract all of those players. Respectable heart spam at the end there.
Love the respectable heart spam. As Bacchess is, yeah, spinning their pieces a lot here. Are they just waiting for garbage?
I think Bacchess is doing some elite level blocking here, but Jayden might have taken note of it by... Yeah, they had an opportunity to send and then just overstacked on top of that opportunity to have more sustain, which is usually the better play if you notice that your opponent is doing some waiting.
Yeah, this is quite the chess match here, as Bacchess is playing this like the chess in their username here. Jayden is starting off this zone, definitely trying to get the upper hand here. That misdrop is not going to help her out, but an amazing fix.
Yeah, seeing the planning that these players are going for is always going to be interesting. Jayden's going to find a 57 ulti, and Bacchess is going to set up a King Crimson.
Setting up the King Crimson. The King Crimson is insane.
For it. It's in the queue, but it's a little bit too late. And finds a 62 ulti, but Jayden's post pressure is looking a little bit spooky, but Bacchess has enough clean to where they're not going to be too far behind in pacing.
Yeah, and those 3 T-spin setups are really something in 7-bag when you're guaranteed to not get 3 T-pieces close to each other. It's definitely a little bit of a flashy move, and I do love to see it.
Yeah, it's very greedy to go in to try and zone when you just have so much limited space, but always love to see it anyway. And Jayden's going to be trying to do that max zone transition, going for maximum attack as well.
Yeah, Jayden finds that eyepiece in time. Bacchess is forced to take this zone in phase 3, so not exactly the favorable timer that they might need here in this interaction.
But they are also going to find a decent amount of lines all the way up to 18. Gonna cancel 48, but they don't see the zone chunks yet. So if they don't have any overcharge, this might spell doom.
Yeah,
nice IRS, but it's just not enough. They gotta find a combo, and they don't have the sequence for it. And Jayden's just gonna wait. They know that they have won this round. Unreal level of confidence displayed for Jayden right now.
Yeah, Jayden even setting up that 4-ride just to be completely sure that she was able to get that kill shot. And this is absolutely an uphill battle for Bacchess. We have been lucky to see some closer matchups in that winner's bracket, but this is very much looking to be a sweep so far.
To be fair, Bacchess is trying to incorporate some timing into their gameplay, and against an opponent like Jayden, it's definitely nice to be aware of those things, and you're gonna see it pay off in their stats as well, playing very efficient just due to how much garbage they're able to tank. We're gonna see even more aggressive tanking, and Jayden's gonna give them some time by starting the zone, so it does look to be paying off, but still gonna be looking at this interaction.
Nice floating here from Bacchess to start out this zone, but Jayden has a 61 Perfectors ready to go, and this is going to be difficult to answer if you're Bacchess here.
Pretty difficult. Trying to look for the high zone clear. They do in fact have it, but does not find the IHS there. And that's a lot of lines that they're receiving, and no more skims, no more overcharge. Jayden's going to take their third.
And that is, oh, look at the efficiency.
Oh my
1
God.
EPP exactly from Bacchess' side. But that's what happens if you're a little slow in zone. You give your opponent the chance to build up enough attack to kill you once you're out of that zone.
It is also pretty unfortunate in this matchup because even though they're efficient, they're still getting just purely out damaged. So it doesn't matter as much as you would hope it would. And Jayden is continuing their 6-3. Bacchess is looking for some more tanks. And Jayden's going to find the full zone first. Continuing the 6-3, going to zone immediately. No overcharge, but Bacchess might actually get the full zone that they need here. He even finds a very pretty floating. And
yeah, Jayden forced to end zone early. A little bit of awkwardness there. A misdrop towards the top, but she is going to be trying to find the efficiency, the post-zone pressure here to be able to... Okay, Jayden tanks here.
Yeah, that is a lot of clean on Jayden's board right now, and Bacchess has some sustain in order to try and threaten Jayden some more, but Jayden's kind of already lower on their board. Don't really have to worry about any kill threats, and they're going to start up this zone. It might even transition if she's coming from the bottom with how efficient it's going to be. Bacchess is going to send 17 over, but they're definitely going to have to hope that they have some overcharge in order to cancel Jayden's incoming damage.
Yeah, Bacchess just trying to find this quarter zone here. Does find the quarter zone. Definitely trying to keep that well open in anticipation. Very well handled. The not taking that is kind of a rough situation.
Yeah, there's kind of like no good options there. You either tank and you have a lot of damage on your board, or you zone, try to cancel and mitigate a little bit, but still be on the pacing disadvantage. It's just quite the gamble no matter which way you go, and gotta respect any decision that they go for. Jayden's gonna immediately find their 6-3, and Bacchess is gonna be trying to find their down stack.
Yeah, and Bacchess just scrambling for this down stack here, going for just finding the bottom of the board rather than efficiency. Okay, taking a T-spin single there, but this has got to be just a fight or flight response from Bacchess right now, because this is such a difficult place to be in.
Definitely makes sense, especially when you're fighting Jayden, who right now is currently flying through these zones, doing really fast as Jayden does, and those misdrops on Bacchess' side might just spell doom. There's not too much you can do there. Gonna have to hope that they can find some skims, have some overcharge in the backlog, and no they don't. Jayden's gonna take their fourth and maintain sweet pace.
Yeah, and that was just a misdrop at the top of the board from Bacchess when you're already in a difficult situation and you just have that to clear out your zone, like, because they could have had a higher clear, and that stuck them at like a 7 or an 8 high zone when Jayden was already at 15, 16. That is just a no-win situation from Bacchess.
It is very rough when you're in such a prestigious tournament with sub triple-digit drops. It's not often that you see a player that is on the slower side to this degree make it this far, and that's very impressive. They're even gonna find their fractal here, truly just showing a display of how much your efficiency can carry you in this game.
Right, and when you're at the disadvantage in terms of that speed, you definitely have to be looking towards your tanking, and that is what Bacchess is doing. They're playing this matchup very well, but it's just not an easy matchup to be in, considering Jayden's reputation in this community.
Yeah, look at those setups from Bacchess. Unfortunate misdrops afterwards. They did have another count and immediate well access, but they're going to have to cut their zone short at 17, sending 48.
Yeah, and we do actually have both players at similar scores here. But Jayden is definitely looking to push this towards that phase 3 so she can end this round.
You know, also finding some TSTs and some count to 4s, even gonna fix the height difference immediately. Bacchess is gonna find a uncharacteristically quick zone here, gonna try and catch Jayden off guard, but Jayden kind of just already had enough damage to offset what Bacchess had incoming, and this is going to transition.
Yeah, Bacchess setting up... What is that? Is that
I'm
two
not too
STSCs?
sure.
Does that work? I don't think that
was.
works.
I think that's what they were going for,
Yeah,
but the SCSDs just don't interact like that. You're gonna have to snake them if you want to go for that setup, but definitely valiant effort there. And they are gonna find the triple-digit drops. They're starting to adapt, and maybe they're gonna be able to try and escape the sweep pace that Jayden has been maintaining thus far.
Yeah, so fun fact, STSDs, if you just have one, it's like a 1 in 10 of you not being able to do that. When you stack them directly on top of each other, you put yourself in the 1 in 10 of not being able to execute the STSD. So yeah, like fun fact, kids, do not stack your STSDs on top of each other like Bacchess just did there. It was a good idea in theory, but it just did not work out execution-wise. And Bacchess is pressuring Jayden here. She is able to so far not use that zone, but is at the top of the board a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's also gonna have to do some board state compromisation. Gonna try and set up that dependent L spin, and she's gonna get there, but it's still looking pretty awkward, and Bacchess is gonna find a lot of overcharge while Jayden is still trying to make it to a better spot to initiate zone. Gonna find the eyepiece, finds the final well, and I wouldn't be surprised if she lets it rip here. There it is.
Yeah, and Jayden is going to be at the slight score disadvantage here. Bacchess is starting their zone in a pretty good place, but okay, Jayden does have a 57-19 is actually wild.
Yeah, that was excellent IRS to find that 19th line. And oh my gosh, that is, I don't even know what that setup is. It's a pretty weird trinity from Jayden, but she is going to get all the pieces that she needs. But
starting that aggressive quarter zone, I love that from Jayden. This is a meta that she's been trying to pioneer. Does not have PC parity that could have helped her out there. Doesn't transition though.
Bacchess has no damage on their board. This might actually be the opportunity that they need to start a zone transition on their own. And you see that overstack. It's going to be a matter of if they can access the rest of their material.
Yeah, they are trying to access this.
Looking for those extra lines might be their downfall, as they just gave Jayden more time to cancel, and she's not even going to have to zone yet. But she's going to do it aggressively, looking for that kill shot while Bacchess is on the lower side of zone charge.
Yeah, and Jayden knows that she has a lot more room to work with here than in that last matchup against Yushoda, and you can definitely see her more dominant gameplay, her more confident gameplay coming through here.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the things, when you have a certain amount of like skill gap on your opponent, there's just more things that you're allowed to do, and with that, you just have a lot more flexibility that this opponent has to deal with. And recognizing that is truly something. You can't fight everybody the same, and we are going to see Jayden take match point.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised here, like I mentioned so far, that this is a sweep. Bacchess is definitely holding their own pretty well, but Jayden is one of those players that just rarely messes up.
Definitely well said, and we're going to see them start that 6-3 sprint that they're known for. Going to set up a nice floating to maintain the height difference. Bacchess is going to do some skimming out, probably looking to just lower their board there because they didn't really have PC parity, but it did look pretty close. Jayden is going to maintain the 6-3 and Bacchess in 3-6. We're going to see a bit of duality here. Bacchess trying to look for count after count.
The 3-6 garbage there from Bacchess, very well used, very opportunistic there. Finds the 50 and 18. Let's see what Jayden has to say in response. Bacchess is going to have a little bit of time to build up here in response.
Jayden is going to be forced to put a can in their efficiency here because of those misdrops, and Bacchess is taking advantage. They have a lot of sustain on their board. It might be a good time to start cascading down, but they're not finding the pieces that they need, and that misdrop is going to put a hamper in their efficiency as well.
Yeah, Jayden is definitely confident in using this zone here, that it is going to put her in a better state, and that is actually going to be match.
Yeah, those are some pretty good tanks from Bacchess, but they were getting one big send that they weren't expecting, and that is going to give Jayden that set. Very well played. Given the situation, I'd say Bacchess played that pretty well.
Yeah, so we are going to see Jayden advance in the losers bracket to play the winner of Dormy versus Shark, which is our next match. Though I do believe that Dormy Shark is going to be our last match of the day. And honestly, well played from both sides there. Bacchess even making it to this top 6 was very well played from them. I'm not surprised that that happened. They did a great job.